I said I would record the last part of it offline and then move on to other stuff. We were at, I think it was 600 out of 1,000. Hopefully, I got it. Come on. There we go. Oh man, this is going to be a rough one, isn't it? Okay, about a raid. This is about the shoujo drama. Okay. Some tiny bit about spite. Talking about the waifu cup on stream. Red. Okay, a few of this is things that we already discussed. More screenshots. Okay, now on nano on GS. Get the waifu cup before silver. Anxious about harassment. Okay, so the original cup art that you couldn't use. Stuff about trying to get along with silver didn't work. TwitchCon. Okay, Twitter mentions about Minecraft. Okay, so she said she was down to talk. You sent a friend request. Okay, from the original apology, tried reaching out, start of a friendly conversation, change things, make it alright, say hi to you at convention, support your endeavors, but being, alive about your doubts and fear, harassment. Felt pressured by the community to try reaching out to collaborate since you keep getting messages comparing you two. Wanted to work something out. Okay, your first and only conversation. On the other hand, Red was in your ear the whole time, saying how great working together would be since he's the business oriented side. she didn't want to stream together, but you thought you could just chat, like it never showed up in the document that you completely understand. You wanted to fix whatever problem that was going on because you thought if the public saw you friendly, then they would stop harassing the both of you. You sent a message after the GS merch. It was misconstrued as you taunting her about the merch because Red was gonna have Nano cancel the model. All right. More stuff we went over. Okay, so you went to congratulate her about the new model, but when you went to the stream, your messages weren't sending. All your messages were held in review, only visible at her and the mods. So they've been ghosted. You still cling on to hope that you can make amends. Second time, the launches were back to back. You get compared because of both being drawn by Nano. Okay, mod 1 and 2 silvers mods showed up. Okay, so the mods asked Red to keep the conversations private from you. Okay. So you censored a few things, but it's still your messages with the mod Red. Okay. They accepted because of experience recommendations. Alright, so something about a tweet getting deleted. Alright, so you just wanted to know what the problem was, but you never seem to get it. Okay, people wishing for a collab or getting their messages deleted. A lot of emails getting blacklisted. Okay, you don't have a screenshot of the message. Everything from Silver's side seems petty trauma. Blocked term. Drama. so all of this was just about for this one line. Alright. Alright, so something about Silver's birthday and a bikini debut. Okay, so similar drop. You had to push it back. So red piece together with silver because of similar and like what they were doing. Okay. Merch. The nano deal. Artist 2. AFK flavor. Silver made another drop. So Red had more conversations with people without telling Cinder. This time about Silver and a picture. Okay. Okay, so Silver likely doesn't know much about you or how you and Red operate, and she's going off the information that was given off by Nano and what everyone else was given by Nano and Lily, so she's just going with her personal experience with you and the information everyone else is given. Alright, so we push people to empathize with the claims and the incomplete evidence. Okay. has the yeah you agree that she has the right to not vibe with someone. She's never obligated to be your friend. That is true. All right. So this is a Twitter DM, but it's different from the incident with Discord. Okay, didn't say anything. So more stuff about Nano. Okay, so if Nano lied and told Silver that her model was canceled because of you, then she can't blame Silver for thinking that. Okay, so it was 2 days before the conversation Red had. Okay, so it wasn't you tearing her down, but so given what she says about the document, it supports your timeline of when she and Spite were contacted. Okay, so it's more about the original art and the ship tag, and like she's valid for thinking it is, and you like agree that it was a mistake, so you deleted it. about the whole like retweeting and unretweeting. Okay, so something about TwitchCon. So you're trying to compare what she's saying in her like chat with what she told you. So she's you think she's not being direct. Okay, so you only messaged her once about a collab for Minecraft. Talent managers, hard time saying no. Like she's right, she's allowed to not be, and it's more miscommunication. So you only like made a collab offer once, and everything else was just hanging out offline. You messaged her 5 times as positive messages over 6 months after their first conversation on Discord. You would occasionally say hi in the chat until you were restricted. An assumption of obsession from both sides. Both of you are getting harassed, but like both of you couldn't see past your own issues to see what was going on. Okay, so the fact that you asked about all the things Red wanted you to ask about is probably got on her nerves. Okay, so more stuff about how different perspectives saw the same incident. She didn't say anything about not being interested to the chat or in the document. Alright. Okay, so more of the. Well, she seems business oriented, and like, I respect that, but I don't want to be around that. And then the thoughts about the claims that were spread around, coloring it even worse. So it's about the comparisons and the harassment, uh, and the things about the different outfits and how they're both opposites. Okay, some about the birthday thing. Okay, so it's more about her getting contacted by a bunch of artists saying that you think she hates you, but you only talked to three artists about silver. Okay, so you want to see the messages from all these artists because you don't believe you told that many people, and you don't believe it's just Nano. Okay, so you went. So she's repeating Lily's argument. And she says she feels bad saying mean things, but even if they're true, but you seem to have to believe and or have proof that they're lies. You know, she doesn't know it. All right. So something about GS and the like view that you were trying to use her. All right, more things about artists. More misconceptions about the timeline of events. Something about the community, like people going over to either side. Okay, so it's more about the comparisons and what is and isn't inspired. So it's more links to Lily being involved. Okay, boss I couldn't beat, goal I couldn't achieve. So the mods say different story. Something about nanners. Hmm. This first time I ever met or spoke with her, I never had ill feelings towards her. Spoken briefly. Okay. He sent five messages over 6 months. She never directly said, please go away or leave me alone. Something about GS again. Alright. Something about the fan art. Alright, oh, give me a moment. that? It was my ma calling about my old man. Alright. Something about the viewers returning. Something about the misconceptions of either both sides trying to bring down the other. Alright, so something about the fan art. Okay, so the only reason way she would have the ability to get the original tweet from the Wayback Machine is if the mom messengered about it, because she had to get the link from her mom. Okay, so one meme, that's about it. Alright, so her mom being anxious about things and not knowing what to do about it would only likely exist if Silver went to her mom about it with a problem. Alright, so discussion with the fan art, how they got the messages went out and how they got their questions answered. Red messaged Yaki because they were their only friend at the time, and she was mutuals with Silver, and Silver has her DMs on Twitter closed. Okay, so the messages she showed on stream did show that it was about the retweeting, and she like misunderstood, either misunderstood the apology from that DM, or now with all this stuff going on, she is seeing it through a different lens. So, from what she's saying, you believe it's implied that the fan art rubbed her extremely the wrong way, and that's the origin of the apparent grudge that's going on between the two of you, and the harassment makes it worse. So you agree everyone should be fully informed? just mad that you're always discounted as a poor rip-off of someone else. Lengths people go to convince themselves that you do everything to copy her. But you got off on the wrong foot because of the original fan art, and she never forgot about it. And then once became clear that you couldn't expect her to help you like deal with the harassment, then you were competitive and slightly antagonistic back, which made everything worse. Okay, so you believe that she lied. So just like every other situation, the issues are all due to a severe lack of communication or refusal to communicate. So you speculate that she just doesn't like you. So, she, so it's more of she doesn't want to interact with you, and you you two keep having your drops happen at the same time, either because of one of you directly doing it to outdo the other, or coincidentally. All right, Aru. All right. So this is about how Aru felt about the entire situation, which clearly, like I said earlier, in the past two streams of this document review, it was miscommunication, bad social skills, incompetence. All right. All right. So you met Aru at Twitch Rivals in 22. You met her with Red at TwitchCon. She was the one who like brought up that she knew Silver. You decided to invite Aru because you were nervous, so you went to go meet Silver. Red was with you, but he stepped away when we saw her. She was the one who suggested the idea of a collab. Alright. You asked her about the idea, see if it was serious, and she asked Silver about it. You asked her again at the start of December. She see if she heard anything about it. She said, "Let me messenger," which she admitted that was a lie. I never said anything else about it, and I didn't ask again. This no way changed my friendship or view of her. By 23, our interactions stopped, but yet we continued to mess each other on and off over the next 8 months. I even asked her to voice in one of the lore videos. It was around that time she fell out of VTubing. The last messages were about the IT escape room at TwitchCon. Okay, so here's your DMs with Aru, proving that things aren't entirely the way she remembers it. Okay, so evidence that the collab thing was on the table, but now isn't. You had collabs with Aru. Alright. And now it's time for Spite, and then we have 2 more parts, and I think we'll be done. And it's almost an hour of recording. You're sorry for the harassment she's gotten over the years. Harassing reason other than being similar to you. You know how it feels to be called a copy, an inferior version. You disliked her for what you thought was copying, and like you were harassed for being similar to, but not to the same degree as Silver. You never reached out to talk to Spite, and you should have, and you're sorry about that. You never condoned or told anyone to harass anyone, even if you held anything against them yourself. But again, poor communication and social skills came into play. You lied about talking about Spite in the apology. You knew Red talked to Nano in 23. It was not something you had anything to do with Red talking to Nano about it. You didn't want to make things worse for yourself and admit to more than you were being accused of when everything was crashing down around you. And you're sorry to her for being unknowingly excluded to working with Nano because of how you felt. You believe Spite was contacted by Lily and compelled to make a public statement. Allegations without evidence and based purely on conjecture. Spite was never ever shown the screenshots of Red asking Nano not to work with her, which I feel Spite would have included in her document, and she made her statement over one screenshot of Red's DMs talking about her from 23? At no point have you stolen or copied. Besides Red, the only person you talk about the grievances are a handful of friends. Following her on Twitter is the extent of watching. So you got the evidence to show that you didn't copy. This is the reference sheet. So, I think your first ever VOD upload date. So, some about fruit. More that Google Doc evidence of where everything came from. Like more DMs, messaging, proving that you okay, so everything keeps looking the same to people, and the comparisons kept happening. Okay, so the speculation. So you only made one tweet that was in spite of her. So the only two prominent Hellhound or Cerberus themed VTubers at the time. So she only, like I said, showed up once in your chat. So everything looks like it's like too similar, but at the same time, things could be different. So Red's conversation about Spite was 5 days after the post above. As stated in your apology, you're very possessive and protective of your design and its details, and before, around the time they debut, the fire and the color changing effect never been done on a VTuber before in its most unique design aspect, stressed and worried. Alright, 21. Alright, posted a Hellhound OC for one of their upcoming videos. So undoubtedly created using me as a reference. You are very protective of your design elements being unique to you, and you overreacted. Then you apologized. They agreed to adjust the character design, and you thought the matter was settled. there's the original one that is the one you overreacted. You say you didn't send anyone to attack her. It was long before the ASMR RP. Like, you were talking about when she first posted the character design, read message someone, you had a group chat. You should be careful what artists give you back to you in the future. It could lead to another situation. It sounds like worse reading it back now that I meant it back then. I asked her to remove only the artwork tweet until revisions were made. And I'll remove my tweet if you remove yours. Pointed out only the people that made rude comments on her post were a few of my friends, and she's acknowledged I wasn't responsible for them. All right. You didn't intimidate her into silence because you show the DMs, show that like the conversation you had. This is probably the only time you got like good communication skills. Your character design is something that represents you in an IP-driven world. Your design is very important to the brand. When someone adds similar details or their design looks very inspired, you can feel personal, like they took a part of you for themselves. You became less concerned about other VTubers using fire elements. You've seen many new ones with fire in their ears or adding the swirl too, but fire with a swirl has always been a common trope. You recognize that you probably inspired a lot of people to design themselves that way. You do not and have not held it against any VTubers who have fire on them. Alright, so you've matured about this. No one likes to feel like someone's copying or ripping off something as personal as their VTuber design. It was a screenshot of people. Okay. So, current or former pirate pups. So sorry to each and every one of you that I'm disappointed. I can imagine what it feels like to have someone you look up to be revealed by a monster, your community torn apart. I made a poorly put together statement and disappeared, leaving me all angry, confused, and lost. Many lost faith in me. You received many messages from people who were hurt. Broke my heart is how many viewed me after this. We got messages encouraging you to go on. To those who continue to believe in you, you thank them, including the moderators and people who manage the Discord server. To anyone who sent hate and harassment and support, you're not a member of the community. Like, you're just deplorable and disgusting. You don't want anything to do with them. Never condone or encourage that behavior from anyone. And the circumstances having made you sacrifice your morals. And you don't want anyone to do any of that after the document is posted. And it's not an excuse to harass anyone. They've never been just numbers. You love going live and talking to them. Like Red apologizing for his mistakes and sending Cinder into hiding and left you questioning things. Alright. So now you're going on about what you're going to do next. And I think that's it. That's all 1,000 pages. Alright. should be